Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2018 movie Hellraiser Judgment. So, in this movie, Detective Sean and David Carter are on the case to find a gruesome serial killer terrorizing the city. When they join forces with Detective Christine Edgerton, they dig deeper into a spiraling maze of horror that may not be of this world. So this movie is not real great, not the worst thing ever. I've seen way worse movies in the Hellraiser franchise than this one. I think there's a couple of the ones in the middle that are definitely worse than this one, but it's definitely not one of my favorites either. It's probably somewhere in the middle of the franchise for me. But to be honest, I'm not really big on the Hellraiser movies, like I've said in my previous videos. And this one doesn't really feel that much like a Hellraiser movie. It has the detective story that we've seen done 3 other times, done way better in Inferno. But I do kind of like the story, and the 2 lead characters are played by Damon Carney and Randy Wayne, and I think they both are okay. Their acting is not super great, but they work good enough, and they work good enough together. They're believable as brothers. They're fine. Alexandra Harris as Detective Christine is pretty good. She's got a likable screen presence and stuff. And Pinhead this time is played by Paul T. Taylor after the backlash of the guy that played him in Hellraiser Revelations. And I think that Paul T. Taylor was way better at playing Pinhead. He's definitely not as good as Doug Bradley and stuff, but he got the mannerisms and the voice down pretty good. And he doesn't look exactly like Pinhead, but he looks enough like him that it works. So I thought he was fine as a character. And I like some things with the story. I like the ending. It kind of had a nice ending, which if this would have been the ending to the Hellraiser franchise, it would have been a good way to write Pinhead out of it, and they could have found a new lead character to take over. I don't know that they would have, but they could have. It had an interesting ending, but and the music in here the score is okay. It's not anything great. It's kind of generic like most of the scores in the other movies, and this movie also kind of has a cheap look to it, and it has some really bad dialogue, and it's got that feel of like a early to mid 2010s police drama show. Is what it kind of reminded me of. It kind of reminded me of like a Dollar Tree version of Criminal Minds, which is crazy. But like I said, this movie was okay. It could have been better, could have been worse, but it just, for what it is, it's fine. It's not anything super great. It's not one of the Hellraiser movies I'm gonna want to go back and revisit very often, or if ever. Like, if I do in 10 years from now, if I do a rewatch of the franchise, then yeah, I might watch it then, but I don't see myself revisiting this one or most of the franchise very much anytime soon. So I'd say I'd give Hellraiser Judgment a 3 out of 10. It was, I guess, just because the story was engaging enough that I wasn't fully bored the entire time, but I was bored throughout most of it. But it was engaging enough to keep me wanting to know what was going to happen to the characters, I guess. So there was that, but it's not very good. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Hellraiser Judgment, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.